Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. Exactly.
So here I am.
And here I am.
If I sing, and if you sing,
yeah, 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 yeah.
There we got our sound. Nothing clipped. Hi, I'm Patricia. Before recorded history, humans knew singing as a deep source of power. Power to change, power to heal, power to be present with what is. Right here, right now, we are remembering the ancient gift of song, using modern tech to help us tap into resilience and capacity in chaotic, difficult times. Welcome to the 165th episode of A Breath of Song. I'm so glad you chose to do this today, which is extra special because Becky Graber is joining us for a songwriter conversation, which usually happen on Zoom, but today we are together in my marigold yellow basement studio. Hi, Becky. Welcome.
Hi, Patricia. It's wonderful to be here.
We are here to find more ways to sing songs that help us heal, adapt, and grow. Each of our voices is exactly what's needed for that. We're coming to you straight from my home in what is now called Burlington, Vermont, on the unceded homelands of the Abenaki people, on sand plains between the Winooski River and Lake Champlain. Becky, tell us where you live when you're not here in my basement.
I live in Brattleboro, Vermont. It's the town that I moved to straight out of college. When I graduated from college, I moved to Brattleboro and felt at home. Not exactly immediately, but pretty close to immediately. Wow. And I live across the street now from the town park where there's skiing in the winter that I get to watch because I'm not a skier of downhill variety. And there's a swimming pool and an ice skating rink. And it's just a really wonderful place to live across from all sorts of activity in every season.
Fabulous. All of our voices will turn up as they are today, and no matter what, we can feel our connection to our breath and the vibration in our body. Let's find how good it can feel to sing today. Last week I shared Becky's song, Fly Away. You might remember that feeling of lift and freedom. Today Becky will be teaching me, heaven above, earth below. We'll learn it slowly so it can settle inside us, and we can begin to trust it as a resource. Let it move us into a state of flow. Then we get to enjoy a conversation with Becky, and we'll close out with the song again at the end. You'll always be able to find this episode with full show notes, tons of links, artwork in the library of songs at abreathofsong.com. So let's start with a physical warm-up, dropping into our bodies, a yawn stretch, finding what feels good for you today. Maybe rolling your shoulders. Oh, yawning. Yeah. So sweet to yawn. And feeling the breath as it comes in, letting it widen your rib cage, and maybe letting a siren come out. Maybe on a v sound, like very yummy. And then on a sound, like magical. And Becky, if there's any extra warm-up you'd like us to do before we sing, do you want to take us through that?
Take your lips and bring them together, and then you're going mwah, 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 mwah. I think that's because there's lots of words in this song, I'm realizing. So we got to get ready for words. Ready for words. But I was, as I was kind of relearning it to teach it, I realized that there's lots of words, but they're heavy on the vowels, which is great. All right. So I wrote this song, it came out of my experience in tai chi, where I would really work and learn, and I have been working and learning for years to feel the ground. Mm-hmm. That was always harder for me, to feel the ground than to feel the sky. And so this song came out of that. I think I'll just sing the first verse of it first and then teach you the first verse. And there's basically 3 verses with a little vowelish interlude.
Okay.
So it begins, maybe somewhere like this. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. And this first verse, a little bit came out of the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. She or he, whoever makes me down to lie in green pastures or green meadows. So yeah. I think at the time I wrote this, I was also thinking of that.
Yeah.
And also because I'm a choral director, I am very conscious of where people take breaths.
Yes.
And when I listened back to how my women sang it, I heard that there was a breath where I didn't want one. So I consciously put the breath in. So anyway.
Okay, so you'll coach me on when to breathe.
I'll coach you.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So I think you already hear this. Heaven above, earth below. I bet you already know that.
Let's try it.
Let's try it. Heaven above, earth below. That's it. That's perfect.
Okay.
And then the next part goes. And I the path between, and I the path between. And I notice, and you notice, and we all notice, that in the beginning there's da 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 da. You're talking about heaven and you're down on the ground.
Yeah.
You're talking about the earth and you're up in the sky.
I love that.
Earth below. And then the path part, and I the path between, kind of right in the middle and just moving around by step. So let's try that whole beginning. And
Great.
with 2 people, one person can hold the first part. So
why don't we sing it together once just so I know I got it?
That's very good sense. So here we go. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. Nice. And I the path between.
You heard me try to sing "And I the sky between."
Oh,
but that's
and I the path between.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Well, why don't you hold? You'll sing heaven above,
okay,
and I'll just sing
and
earth
sing
below,
the rest of it?
And then we'll come together on the path.
Oh, okay, all right.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. Exactly. Beautiful. The next part, I'm just going to say the words because I think the words are the challenge. Making my way, and then I take a breath. So it's making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
Making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
That is just perfect.
Okay.
Let's do that again.
Making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
You got it. So those words come twice. So the first one is making my way through fields. Let's just do that much.
Making my way through fields. I forgot to breathe. Making my way through fields.
You got it. So it's like this. Making my way through fields of ever. Just that much.
Making my way through fields of ever.
Exactly.
Those are the notes?
Well, almost exactly. The rhythm is a little different. You got the notes right.
Okay.
Making my way through fields of ever.
Making my way through fields of ever.
You got it. And here's the of ever rolling green.
Oh, that's so sweet. Through fields of ever rolling green.
Yes, just wonderful. So it goes like this, that whole phrase. Making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
So sweet. Making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
What a pleasure to teach you, Patricia. Yeah. So that's totally right. And I love where we're taking the breath now, because when I taught it to my chorus, I wasn't so insistent on that. And they went, when I heard them, making my way through fields of ever. So you want the fields of ever rolling green to be one phrase.
One idea.
So that's
yeah,
why.
okay.
So, so far we've learned, let's sing together what we've learned so far.
Whole thing. Okay, good.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. You got it. And I forgot to take the breath, but that was perfect. Then the next part, it's almost the same. It's the same words. Making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Okay. Making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Let's do that phrase again.
Yeah, please.
Making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Yeah.
I love the way this song covers it covers a lot of my range, at least. Down low and up high, so heaven and earth.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. I like that too.
Yeah.
I really want to, like when in my chorus, I really want people to sing in their whole range so that it doesn't begin to limit.
Yeah.
We want to sing out. Yeah. Yeah. Should we sing that whole thing?
Let's sing the whole thing.
And you can sing, you don't have to hold that note.
Okay.
You
can I go on to?
You could.
I'd love to sing the whole thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. I ran out of breath too. Making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
Let's do it again just to try that breath.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Yes.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
How do you feel about slides? Because I can hear it's really tempting to say, making my way through fields of ever rolling green.
Yeah.
You know, and I hear you very clearly singing, fields of ever rolling green, two separate notes. And I'm wondering,
probably that's partly because I lead a chorus, and so if a bunch of people were to do that slide, it wouldn't be together. If it was one person, of ever, could imagine it if you were singing it by yourself. Having a little bit of freedom there. I wouldn't want to restrict that.
Yeah.
For somebody. Yeah.
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 Okay, I was just curious.
I can tell. Yeah. So
I've forgotten it by now. Can we sing it one more time? Whispers first? Yeah. Okay, great.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Nice. So the next part is exactly the same tune with different words. Heaven above, earth below stays the same. And in between am I.
Okay. Instead of, and I the path between, and in between am I.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it?
Yeah. Should we try that?
Yeah.
Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
And in between am I, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. Finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky.
Okay.
Yeah. And where I take a breath there is where, after spirit, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky.
Okay.
That makes sense there. So,
yeah.
This song has quite a few words.
Yeah,
but, yeah. So, should we try it?
Sure.
And in between am I.
And in between.
Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I. Finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky.
So I don't know how it's going for people who are listening. I was watching your face and still missing some of the words. But.
And I think, it takes a while to get these words. And Patricia can see, the rest of you can't. I'm looking up at my music so that I'm sure of the words. So I
wasn't going to tell.
So finding a path with heart and spirit.
Okay.
So finding a path.
Let's do this
And
one.
in between am I, finding a path.
Finding a path.
With heart. Should we try it again?
Yeah.
Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. Finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. Yeah. So
Sweet.
We've got the first two verses now. Of course, when we go back to the first one, we might not remember.
That's okay. We're close.
Yeah. So should we go on or should we?
Yeah, sure. Let's
So
do
what
the
comes
third.
next is, because I was conscious that there were so many words, the next part is all vowels, and it goes like this. Well, there's consonants involved, but it goes a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-ah. A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da. Let's all try that.
Okay.
A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da. And then the same thing, but only at the end. A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-ah. So it goes a-da-da, a-da. Oh, I think I taught you the words wrong, but anyway, you'll catch it now. I think it goes a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's the part which I messed up. So
okay.
So it's a-da-da, da, which just makes so much sense. And then the next part goes, da, 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 da. Let's try that. Da, 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 da. That's it. And it's just this kind of section. And then the next part goes, da, 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 da. Okay. Da, 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 da. So that whole section, and you can do the second part in harmony, but we don't have to. Maybe I'll add the harmony once we get it.
Sure.
So it's da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Let's do that again. And that just happens once. Let's do that again, but this time I'll add the harmony.
Yeah, sure.
And da, 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 da.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
And then we're back to a heaven above, earth below again for the last verse. And heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal.
And I the two reveal.
Yeah. Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal.
Shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. And where do you want the breath in that one?
Yes, let's see. Shining through me, after me, that can heal.
Okay.
Yeah. So should we try that first?
Yeah.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. And that's why you take the breath earlier before I did. Shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Let's sing that last verse. Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. And then it ends, heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. And that's the end. So it's just like the beginning.
If I sing that ending part, do you harmonize it?
Yes, I do.
Should we try that?
Let's.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between.
Yeah, mostly I guess the harmony is by holding. So if I had three people, someone would go heaven above and hold that, and someone would go earth below and hold that, and I the path between and between. So you end up with ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, nice.
That's how mostly the harmonies in this are by holding.
Yeah.
Or
Totally.
the written harmonies, yeah.
So should we try it, the whole thing?
Let's try it.
Okay. I just have a question. Do you want me to hold the first part, or do you want me to sing the first part, and do you want to, which?
I'll hold the first part and you
Okay. And I'll sing the
earth below.
Earth
That sounds
Yes.
good.
Okay.
So the first verse is, and I, the path between. And the second verse is, and in between am I. And the final verse is, and I, the two reveal.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. There might be a little word fudging.
Exactly. That's right. Heaven above, earth below, and I, the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I. That's right. Finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. Finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. I was just adding a little harmony, and then da da, da da, da 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 da, da da da, da da, da da. Heaven above, earth below, and I, the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Heaven above, earth below, and I, the path between.
We made it, more or less.
We got there. We got there.
I have the feeling that if we sang it again, it would be even more solid, because we were still figuring out how.
Yeah. And I realized there are other harmony parts.
If I sang the melody, would you want to just play with the harmonies?
Sure.
Sing whatever harmony parts you wanted?
Sure.
If I were sort of reliably doing the melody?
Sure.
Okay. Why don't we try it
Wanna
that way?
try it?
And
Okay.
we'll get that much more, one
Yeah.
more round. Don't you think? What do you think if you're listening? Should we do it in again? Yeah, I think so. I think I heard lots of yes, let's do it again.
I heard that
people
too.
are just getting the words, just starting to feel.
Exactly.
Be nice to feel like, okay, now let's relax into the song and really feel it.
I love that.
Heaven above, earth below, and I, the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Maybe we can just do those words again.
I agree.
Heaven above, earth below, and I, the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Can we do it again with those words?
Yes.
Heaven above, earth below, and I, the path between, making my way through fields of
making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I, finding a path through heart and spirit, earth and sky, finding a path through heart and spirit, earth and sky. Da da da, da da da, da 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 da, da da da, da da da, da. Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. That was fun to play with it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And I hope that people who are listening can hear how we get better. You know, we get more, we start to hear each other's voice. We start to lean into each other.
Absolutely.
It feels really good.
It was really fun. And you know, I'm so used to teaching it to a chorus where the parts are, this is your part, this is your part, this is your part. And it was so fun to take it apart and play with it in this way. And, you know, it doesn't have to be how it was written that particular time. I love that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you shifted from touring and singing as an individual to found the Brattleboro Women's Choir in 1996, right?
Yes.
28 years ago?
Yes. Yeah, a long time ago.
Could you dig into a little bit to this perspective that you have? Tell us what's different about gathering a chorus to sing in 2024, because you also restarted after the pandemic, or kept going through the pandemic in various ways.
Right, we did.
And then have been gathering.
Yeah.
I mean, all choruses have been kind of rebuilding during this time.
Yes.
What's different about rebuilding your chorus in 2024 compared to starting it in 1996?
Yeah. Well, one thing that's different is that, like, for example, the first week of chorus this year, someone came not knowing she had COVID and had COVID. So a number of people were out, which is so different. So I also, the age of the people who are coming, of course, is much older, because a lot of the people are my peers. So there's all sorts of things like that. But I think one big difference that the pandemic made was that the appreciation for the pleasure of singing together. Now that people know that it can be taken away, that it's not just something that we can rely on to always be there.
Yeah.
There's something about that appreciation that is, and people knowing also, I think people are understanding how important singing together with people is to them personally and to the group. So there's something really lovely about that aspect.
Yeah. And of course, there's also been a lot of research that's been done since 1996 showing the physical benefits of singing and the community benefits of singing. And members of choruses are more likely to vote, for example. There's higher participation rates in the community. And partly it's because somebody who's more likely to vote is maybe also more likely to join a chorus.
Right.
But partly it's because people who join choruses begin to feel this connection with other people. They feel less lonely. They feel more part of a community. They feel a sense of belonging. And that drives, people have shown, increased volunteer rates and increased voting rates among choral participants.
And I would say something too about finding your voice, having confidence in your voice in the midst of other voices.
Yes.
It gives you a certain power. It's empowering.
Yes.
And so that also would lead into a increased voting rate.
I'm really interested in that because I just had a conversation on Facebook with another member of the New North End community where I live, whom I've not yet met, who holds very different political views than mine, and is very blunt in her approach on Facebook. And I haven't met her in person, so I don't know what she's like in person. But one of the things that I was finding is, as we were conversing in this dialogue on Facebook and disagreeing, we were in disagreement, is that sense of, okay, I can have my voice and she can have her voice, and we are still creating community together in some way.
That is lovely.
And that feels very choral to me. That feels to me like what I learned from singing in community.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's bringing tears to my eyes. Yeah, there's something very moving about that, knowing that you can express yourself and listen and be heard and respected, or that there's just power in that.
Yes.
In that, and you can still connect. You don't have to then separate off.
Right. And I don't have to be silenced, and I don't have to require that she be silenced for me to be engaged with her.
Wow.
I'm not going to say that's always going to work.
No. No, yes. I know what you mean.
So 30 years, 28 years, that's a long time to do anything consistently. And I only got to do my community chorus, my large community chorus, for 4 years. I had done a small choir for 15 years before that. But my large community chorus was only for 4 years before COVID hit. And I'm wondering, energy comes and goes in the practice of tai chi. It's a lot about fluidity, right? And that sense of accepting, releasing, bringing in, letting go. I'm wondering what kind of rhythms you noticed over that longer arc of group directing.
One thing for me, I remember a friend of mine from the chorus has quoted me on this, so that's why I remember that I said it. I told her that I feel the most myself when I'm in front of my chorus, when I'm in that relationship has felt the easiest. I started out in front of groups musically once I came out from behind the piano, which I think you and I also share a piano experience. Something about it, I always felt the most comfortable there. So work was more comfortable than home for me.
Okay.
I would say. And I've also felt more comfortable making my needs met. So I'd shifted and changed a lot. Even 5 years in, there were times right at the beginning where somebody, I had a basket where people gave me feedback. And, someone gave feedback in a way that was hurtful. Yeah. And it really was hurtful, but I told the group, because they hadn't signed it. So I said, here's why we're going to have people sign what they say. Okay. And things like that. So I did make some changes in that way in the early days, I think, that helped me set some boundaries of what was acceptable as a way of communicating. But I also always took the time I needed. I always was off in the summer. Chorus has always been a part-time job for me also. Okay. So there were other work things that I did. But I always took off the summer, and I also, right from the beginning, took off January and February. And And I did some other little things that I wanted to do musically in that time, maybe. So I think I did a really good job in chorus of shifting and changing, and then my singers would go along with me and support me in that quest to not burn out and to have it be always new.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great that way.
Did you find yourself at some point recognizing and kind of verbalizing, oh, okay, the way that I am allowing myself to be in chorus, the way I'm showing up in chorus, which feels so much like me, the real me, I want to bring that out into the other parts of my life as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would say I did do that.
How beautiful.
Yeah, trying to see the self that you are in one place that's the most easeful, and then trying to learn from that.
What is it that makes it easeful for me in this place?
Yeah.
And how can I bring that into another place?
Yeah. I would say that in some ways I did that consciously, and I would say in other ways I did it kind of unconsciously. Like in some cases for me, my unconscious works better at things like that than my conscious.
Yeah.
Because the conscious mind tends to go, okay, this is that, it's not the most flexible. My conscious mind can kind of think that it knows what it's doing, and it's actually my unconscious is a little more in touch with myself. It seems like, I guess that's what an unconscious is.
Yeah, I think so I've been doing physical therapy for my arm, and one of the things that I just did it this morning, one of the things that the PT was saying to me is that she's very careful not to give people the sense that this is a ladder progression. She said, because it's not. It's a windy, snaky, serpentine kind of evolving, and one day you'll be able to lift with 1.5 pounds, and the next day it'll have to be 1 pound. And it's not going to be a continual straight line forward kind of progression. Right. You need to allow it to be flexible. I won't tell you why she had to tell me I needed to allow it to be flexible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe I was having a little frustration with where my mind thought I should be.
Where you should be
where
now.
My brain thought I should be now, and I wasn't there.
And that whole thing of learning how to, which has been difficult for me, to learn how to tune into where you actually are by taking a breath, and, things that I find easier to do in the process of being in singing or being in music in other ways. I've had to constantly remind myself, no, you don't have to do XYZ right now. What you need to do is, let's take a breath. Let's be here now. That has not been easy for me in other places besides music.
But it is easy for you in music.
It is easy for me in music.
What is it about music that makes it feel more natural?
Well, there's another song that I wrote which goes, my home is in music, my home is in song. When I lose my way, when I lose my something, when I lose my da-da-da-da, then music, it guides me, and music, it blinds me, and music, sweet music, a sense helps me be at home. And I wrote that song in a kind of a challenging time. And it just expresses what, like, music has always been the place that I could find sustenance, grace, myself. Even as a child, going to the piano, I was allowed to go to the piano rather than do the dishes. Thank you to my mom. But I could escape what else was going on that I didn't want to be a part of or experience. So that's been good. I mean, I find myself now, as I am as old as I am, I think I have to put music aside in some ways and find the rest of my home, but not completely or hugely, but
be able to find your home in places as well as music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what paths are you exploring for that?
Well, I've always done studies of kind of different kinds of psycho-spiritual things, psychological and spiritual paths. Like psychosynthesis is something I learned a lot about as someone in my early 20s. Roberto Assagioli was a contemporary of Freud's, and he devised this system of looking at experience called psychosynthesis.
I've never heard of this.
Well, it's very interesting. And he didn't take out spirituality. He didn't take spirituality out of the psyche. He thought of it as a part. So I studied that, and now I'm involved in a group called the Diamond Approach, which is another kind of, this was started by a man in California, H.M. Almas, Almaas. And it's a combination of, well, it's one of those things where you're looking to find your full self. It's another one of those kind of system, but it also involves understanding the Enneagram, and that's how I found my way to it, from taking a class on the Enneagram. So I would say all these different things. I'm always interested in body, mind approaches to understanding self. And that would be a thread through my whole life of seeking, really, and then trying to seek and settle both. Yeah.
When you were a child and the piano drew you, did song with words also draw you, or was it music without words that was drawing you at that point?
No, songs with words too, because I love to sing. And Camp for a Girl camp. And I loved songs. I loved learning songs. My sister is only 16 months younger than I. So we did a lot of singing together, singing in harmony at church camp and all the different camps, or Camp for Our Girls. We did a lot of singing. We did a lot of singing around the piano too. So,
what's one of the earliest songs you remember?
I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down it. Yeah. And also, I was thinking of I'm Proud to Be Me. Do you know this one?
No.
This is a Camp for a Girl song that I think is a great little song. I'm proud to be me, but I also see you're just as proud to be you. We may look at things a bit differently, but lots of good people do. It's just human nature, so why should I hate you for being as human as I? Let's live and let live, and we'll give and forgive, and we'll all get along if we try. We hope. I'm proud to be me, but I also see you're just as proud to be you. It's true. You're just as proud to be you. Isn't that a sweet song?
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I may have to teach that to Claire, my granddaughter.
I think it's just it's funny. It's, it's just human nature. So why should I hate you for being, it's a little funny, but, I grew up in Minnesota, and it does make me think of the vice presidential candidate a bit.
Okay. Yep. So I'm curious, what is the makeup of your chorus? You said many of the people in your chorus are contemporaries of yours. So in their 60s,
50s, 60s, 70s, but now we're getting some younger people too. Yay. About 10 years ago, I split the chorus in two. You could come in the morning or in the evening. And that was wonderful for people who don't want to be driving at night. I have found it challenging now as a director who has two different sections, essentially. Yep. But I have about almost 50 people in each of those two sections. So there's 100 women coming to sing total. And I would say, some have been singing with me for a very long time. And then we do get a really nice group of, let's say there's 15 or so new people that just heard there's a chorus and want to come and get a chance to sing together.
What made you decide to have a women's chorus as opposed to an
everybody chorus?
Yeah.
At the time when I was thinking of starting it, there was a Wednesday night, a chorus that a friend of mine led for everybody.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to conflict with them. And I also was probably more comfortable with just women in my group as at that time in my life.
Yeah.
And I'd also, I was coming out of, Mary Alice Amadon, my friend, had been leading a group, a sit around the parlor and sing group of about 20 women. And she wasn't going to do that anymore. So that was another thing that kind of led me into thinking, okay.
So, wow, 100 singers. That's a hugely successful group. And Brattleboro is not a densely populated metropolitan area.
Yeah.
Right?
People travel, and
so people are really coming and clearly being nurtured and fed by this experience that they're having with you.
And this year, I'm collaborating with Anna Patton, who's a younger singer and song leader and musician. People in Vermont know her maybe because she plays the clarinet beautifully too. And she is teaching some of the songs as well. So that's really fun for me.
Is this your first collaboration?
Yeah. I mean, we've done things together, but never she leads a separate small group in Brattleboro, a lovely group of the Soubrettes, women's singing group. This is our first where she's going to be at rehearsals and things. Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah.
So that's one of the ways that you're clearly keeping this alive for you is
yes, collaborating. Yeah.
Are there other people you've collaborated with that have moved you or changed how you approach chorus?
Lisa McCormick, my friend Lisa, has started a ukulele movement in Brattleboro. And Lisa has been my musician a lot of times. And yes, I've learned a lot from her approach to music. I've just experienced the care with which she treats both her singers and the music. There was something that I learned about care from her.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Tell me, what does care look like when you're working with singers?
I think that, coming from a kind of a top-down choral director model, a lot of choral directors are, I say this, you do that. Mm-hmm. I've never wanted to be that. I've wanted to be more on, I still do say, you do this. Mm-hmm. I try to say it nicely, and I try to have it make musical sense. And so it's understandable. And I think maybe taking care, it's actually something like, before I even teach, knowing where I want people to take a breath so I can be consistent about things like that. But it's more than that. What I learned from Lisa is more about how the whole thing, thinking of it, approaching it like a conversation, that it's a conversation. And I think I did have some learning to do in that area of, if you come in as the expert, even though I wouldn't maybe look like I was coming in that way, there was a way that I needed to learn that we're peers. Yeah, there was a subtle way I needed to learn that.
And at the same time, if you're crowd managing a room full of 50 people... True. You can't have all 50 people saying, well, let's do this next.
Exactly.
Right?
That's completely true. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you make it not feel like a top-down, autocratic kind of leadership, but at the same time be clear and satisfying for people to come to?
Right. And part of that is really just about fun and relaxing, isn't it? I mean, it's about just letting the music have its way with you and everyone. Like, just really taking, I guess that's something about like letting the music breathe, letting it really impact the whole room. And sometimes you can get, if you're preparing for a concert, and I always didn't like this part of it, but if you're preparing for a concert, you can kind of rush over that stuff. Yes. And that's where the life is in it.
Yes.
So don't rush over that stuff.
I sometimes call it the aha moment. That moment where just after it happens, you don't want to talk. You just want to have a moment of silence where everybody's like, because that was such a going into those moments. Yeah. Yeah. It's addictive.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I've changed recently, last year and this year, is that I've always had 2 concerts, one in November and one in May. And we are doing that again this year. Last year, we didn't even really have a concert in November. We had a sharing instead.
Okay.
And so that the whole year is tied together thematically. And if there's some songs I don't finish this fall, that's okay. I'll do them in the spring, probably.
Okay.
So that has kind of opened it up, kind of lit things up a little differently. And I think some of it is because I'm aging, and some of it is just, because I'm aging, and therefore I have more awareness of wanting to take my time with things and wanting them to bloom rather than feeling like, gotta get it done kind of thing. I don't feel that way so much anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to me about choosing repertoire. I'm curious how you're finding the songs for your community chorus.
Yeah. I actually just, a little aside, I just had a visitor down at my chorus last week, Helen Yeomans.
Yes, we've done one of her songs.
Yeah. And she mentioned that she notices that here in the States, we have more complicated songs with more words, as opposed to the songs that she knows through the choral movement in England, where it's shorter, more easy to get a hold of. And, I think of them more like layer songs, but not exactly. And that was just interesting for me to hear. I think she's right. And I tend to look for some of both. They call those shorties.
Okay.
I look for some shorties that are just easy to get, or rounds used to be our way. Even the rounds, though, sometimes have quite a lot of words.
Yes.
So I look on the Natural Voice Practitioners Network in England, the NVN.
We're both members of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was noticing there's not a lot of members in the States, but you are. The person in California who you've...
Lisa Littlebird?
Yes. That is such a resource for songs, I think, her whole setup. I love looking for songs. And I feel like they come to me. Probably I have my hands out looking for them. But I know particular people that like Velma Fry. I go and listen to people. And during COVID, there were so many people online.
Yes.
And somehow I will just come across, I've come across this song that I have to do this year that is very complicated. It's called Space, S-P-E-S, written by a woman in the Baltic area, I think. And it's Latin and Sami, and it's 16 pages of music. But we just have to do it because I just love it. And I know they will love it too. So I just come across these obscure pieces too sometimes. And I don't even know how they come to me. Sometimes people send me a link, but I feel like music comes to me because I've got really wide searchlights on.
Do you find that the songs that you're singing in the chorus are songs that you also sing to yourself at home, or is it a different set?
Some, mostly not, because it's mostly a different set. Like that one I couldn't sing to you because I just love it. But it's the harmonies that make it, and it's difficult parts. There are some, we're learning a song by Becky Reardon this time. Participation is going to save the human race, which apparently Pete Seeger said.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody in my chorus just found that out. But she wrote that song, and it's around, and that one I can sing that one myself. And that is one of a pocket song. That is a song I can, But I think a lot of them they're more, the parts are different from each other enough that and rely on each other.
Where do you see choral music going? Do you think it will continue in the shape that it's in now? Do you think it serves?
Boy, I wonder. I don't really know. I play the piano for the concert choir in Brattleboro. So I do that on Wednesday night now, and then I have my own choirs, and that is a vibrant, vital, very full voice choir, also with a lot of seniors, but a good substantial crowd of younger people singing classical music. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. Do you have a thinking about that?
No, I really don't. I watch the age of the audiences.
Yeah.
And that concerns me. That makes me wonder whether it's going to stay the same or whether it's going to look different, but I don't know what it might look like. And there is some music that is so incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
That can only be done with a large group of people.
Yeah.
You know, music that doesn't even sound right with 16 voices.
Yeah.
That really needs 50 to 100 voices. I wonder whether that's going to become more rare and unusual and kind of like people gathering for a week-long retreat and then singing that a big piece at the end.
Right.
Because people can come from all over and then rehearse intensively and then have something happen. I don't know.
It does seem like there's all these different ways now. Like when I was a kid, it seems like there were choruses or choirs that grown-ups went to and sang once a week. Now it seems like there's all these other different ways, you know, like a come together on a Saturday and sing, or down in New York City that, you know, there was a big room full of people, all these, I don't know if you've seen that. I can't remember the name of it.
Is it the Gaia Collective?
Maybe. But you could come, and my acupuncturist showed me a video of it because his daughter-in-law was going to these events where people had the words on their phone or something, and they went and they sang for like 2 hours, and it was a lot of young people. Uh-huh. So I'm interested to see what will happen. Helen told me that in England, more people sing in a choir or chorus than play soccer.
Oh my goodness.
And she attributed it to this one particular young man who had a TV show, I guess, going to people and saying, "Would you like to come and join a choir? Would you like to come and join a choir?" And then he started a lot of choirs in workplaces. And she said that this, over the past 10 years, has just changed everything. So that was great to hear. I loved that, knowing that there can be more and more and more singing.
So here I have a question, and maybe I'm just being grouchy today. But I'm wondering, if you're in a choir and you're singing a song about the fatherland, does that do for you, for your body, for your soul, for your spirit, for the same thing as if you're in a group singing Heaven Above, Earth Below, and I the Path Between? Or if you're singing, I think of groups like the CCC, if you're singing a popular song that's about, you know, heartache, and I'm going to key the car of the guy who broke my heart. Or, you know,
no, I think content matters. Yeah, content matters. What you're singing, it's going right in. It's going right into every cell of your body.
That's how it feels to me, too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I was a sub for a middle school, high school program, for a long-term sub, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, something like that. And one of the things I did, because I was coming in the middle of the year and I didn't know these kids, was I asked them to come in a song that they loved on a piece of paper for me, so I could go home and you know, look it up on YouTube and listen to it. So I would start to get to know them that way. And this sweet middle school kid, nicest guy you ever met, sent me home to listen to a rap song that was extremely violent. It was promoting rape, and it was very violent, very angry, but it had a very cool rhythm, very interesting melodically. You know, it's kind of, it had whatever they had sampled. It was really cool. I liked the song if I could distance myself from the words.
Yeah.
And so I talked to him about, I said, you know, I'm just puzzled by this, because I liked the rhythm, I liked the melody, but these words were really difficult for me, and I had a really hard time listening to it. He said, "Oh, what words?"
Oh, wow.
And to his mind, he hadn't he hadn't paid attention to the lyrics at all. And I thought, I don't think I have. And I wondered to myself, is it possible to be so distanced from the words that they aren't going in, or are they going in and he just doesn't realize it?
Wow. That's, yeah. I've always been really sensitive to the words. And when I was in high school, here's a kind of odd, funny story. Duke Ellington came to work with my church choir. What? And I didn't feel comfortable with God language at that time. And so I didn't do it.
Oh, no.
And I mean, I went to the concert. My whole family was in the concert, in the choir, but I wasn't comfortable singing that. So that just gives you an example of how important the words are to me.
Yes.
So I'm very, very aware. And I can't even imagine being in that situation where he didn't even know the words. Yeah. I think they matter so deeply. And I agree with your question. Are they going in or not? Yeah. So
at this point in your life, in your 60s, maybe 2/3 of the way through-ish, maybe we'd never know,
even
right?
more.
What do you know about who you are?
The phrase that comes to me is, I am a breath of air on the earth. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Wow. That's what I mean when I say my conscious doesn't know as much as my unconscious does a lot of the time in that way.
So
that's why I have to let it
answer.
That's where it's good for me to let it in, let it up.
What do you do in your life right now that gives space for that unconscious to appear?
I sit and I walk. And I wonder what more I should do, to let it in. But cooking, actually. I never used to cook much. And I like to cook. There's just something about it. It's just because it's nothing I was ever identified with. I can play there. Yeah.
What do you find at this point in life that you're letting go of and making space for? I hear you're making space for cooking.
Yeah.
What identities are you shedding?
I just, for a long time, was just busy all the time. Busy, going to jobs.
Yeah.
And I do less. I don't have a church job anymore, which I did have for a long time, which I did really enjoy. And I'm teaching a few piano lessons and doing chorus. And I'm sure there's other things that I also have let go of that I don't even remember. So yeah, I have more time to myself.
So letting go of that identification of I am a busy person and that's what gives me value.
Yeah.
Is that I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm reading into this.
You're correct.
Okay.
I would say you're right.
All right. Yeah. What questions do you find are arising for you?
What next? I feel like I'm at the age where it really is a what next. It's a threshold time. It reminded me of when I was a young mother, and it's like, okay, what's this world like?
Or coming out of college, or
all those times where you're looking around, seeing, wow, and having my children long gone at this point, and that's part of it too. Yeah.
When you were raising your children, and I've been fortunate to sing with one of your children, just briefly, just a little bit, but she is absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering how you approached music with them as somebody who loves it so much. Because I know sometimes when we as parents are intensely engaged in something, that's either something that a child comes in on and says, okay, yes, I'll do this because mom and dad love it so much, or one or the other loves it so much. Right. Or they say, okay, never going there because you love it so much.
Right.
Did your kids respond in one of those ways? Or
they both did, quote unquote, did music, partly because I did, and I was a teacher of things, so they were also, like, they came to the music camp that I was a staff person on, and so they both came to that every year that they could, from when they were 8 to when they were 12, and that was a really fun music camp.
Nice.
And it was based around ensembles, and we also sang together, our family, so that was lovely. And then they both took piano lessons for a while, and they both took an instrument. They had to take an instrument. So that was where, and neither one of them plays their band instruments now, though I think they might sometime in the future. So I think that we did pretty well with not pushing them, and they both are very musical and have great musical skills. So I think that they were...
So they have that as an option.
It was good to be
one of the
part of their life.
It's easy.
Yeah. And there really was no way for them to avoid music in our house. They just couldn't get out of it in a way.
Yeah. How about if we do some lightning round questions then? And then we'll sing the song again.
Oh, that's right.
Before we close.
Good idea. I forgot about that part.
Yeah. So what is an album that was really important to you?
Ry Cooder's jazz album.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know Ry Cooder?
No.
Oh my gosh. He's such an ethnomusicologist, an anthropologist through music, I would say. I just maybe made that word up. But so the first one that I heard, jazz, it had a red cover and black letters, and it just was kind of a brass band feeling to it. And I just loved it. It's one of the first albums, that I bought as an adult. The music is, there's a little bit of Dixieland in it, but I played French horn, and I love brass bands. And I was in the Brattleboro Brass Band for a while, and which we played for contra dances. But he's a very solid musician and also just very playful. He also, I think, he had something to do with the Buena Vista Social Club also. I think the thing is that he was really interested in music, instrumental music, as a connecting force between people. That, I think, is what I really liked about him.
Cool. What is your favorite soup?
Split pea soup is one of my favorites. I make soup. It's one of the things I like to make. So chicken soup is also... I would
chicken
say
and rice, chicken
and lemon.
Oh, okay.
Chicken and lemon.
All right.
Yeah.
What is a sound that you feel strongly about?
Singing bowls. I love those crystal singing bowls where it just resonates through your whole body, but you feel it most, like in the beginning, you just feel it in the center of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those.
Have you ever gone to a sound healing?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, love those.
Who is an artist you wish more people listened to?
Bobby McFerrin.
Yes.
Oh, he's so fabulous.
Before we close, where can we find you and follow your projects?
So I do have a website, beckygraber.com, and also the Brattleboro Women's Chorus. I think it's brattleborowomen'schorus.org.
Great. A huge thank you to you, Becky, for coming on A Breath of Song.
Oh, thank you. What a pleasure.
And a huge thank you to our listeners, you. I'm so glad you're singing with us. Visit abreathofsong.com to see show notes with links, lyrics, Patty Piotrowski's glorious artwork. Sign up to get artwork and music in your mailbox. How beautiful is that? And be one of the generous people who put something in the gratitude jar that helps cover costs. Before Patty or I is paid, 25% is donated to the Jazz Foundation of America, which directly supports jazz, blues, and roots musicians in need. The skill and the artistry of these musicians has directly shaped most of the music I share on this podcast in one way or another, yet historically they have been inadequately recognized and unfairly recompensed. This is a small step that we can take together towards a kind of reparation, if I can use that word.
That's wonderful.
It's tiny, but it's something. So let's sing Heaven Above, Earth Below again to help it sink in more deeply. I'm wondering if we could sing it twice through, maybe the first time just in unison.
That makes a lot of sense.
Me remember it. And then the second time you can go do whatever you want to do.
That sounds great.
Okay.
And why don't I just really quickly say the 1, 2, 3. The
Sure.
first time is, and I the path between.
Mm-hmm.
The second time is, and in between am I. And the third verse is, and I the two reveal.
And I the two reveal.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if we forget things. Is that good for you? Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da-da-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da. Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining the foam, the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between.
Shall we harmonize it?
Let's do it.
Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da-da-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da. Heaven Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. I don't know. You want to just try it one more time and you sing the melody and I'll do harmonies that you maybe have not written.
Love
because I'm
to
not
have
looking
you
at
do
music.
that. Would be fabulous.
And I'll just make things up. So this may or may not go well.
Absolutely. I love that.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, that's great.
We might erase this.
Or not. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between, making my way through fields of ever rolling green, making my way through fields of ever rolling green. Heaven above, earth below, and in between am I, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky, finding a path with heart and spirit, earth and sky. Heaven. Oops, I forgot. A-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da-da-da-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da, a-da-da. Heaven above, earth below, and I the two reveal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal, shining through me the light of spirit that can heal. Heaven above, earth below, and I the path between. Oh, that was fun. Oh, I loved that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it went some unexpected places.
Yeah, which I loved.
Neat. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for driving up here. And I know you're getting to visit your daughter as well, but it's really sweet to have you here.
Oh, I love it.
You're
Thank
the
you.
first person from A Breath of Song to walk into my basement studio.
Wow, I feel very lucky and privileged to be in that position. Thank you.
Thank you, listeners and singers, for joining Becky and me today for A Breath of Song. I'm grateful that you are taking care of yourself and listening to your voice. I'm curious to hear what you think about words and how they influence you, and what kinds of music is drawing you forward in singing in community. I'm curious about where people are going with this. I think we're finding our way forward together, and of course it's going to be a group solution. And I kind of got distracted here. I'm in the closing words, but yes. I believe making a better world starts with the way we tune into ourselves and each other, which is what we just did. So, yay us.
Yay us.
If
wonderful.
You're liking this podcast, please share with a friend. And next time we'll plant another song. Until then, be well.